Alright, we all knew that UR Komori is going to come up next, even without this silhouette, so let's talk about this character. Well, first of all, he's the only UR Libero in the game, and he is as good as the SP Libero Nishinoya. So let's just check his stats over here. As you know, Sakusa and Komori have higher stats than the other UR players, and they are actually equal to the SP characters. So that was, the case with Sakusa, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same for Komori as well. So let's just check his stats. Receive 173, and then the save is 162. Okay, so now if you just compare him with, like, just stat wise with Nishinoya, so it's going to be, this was 173, I guess, right? So, and this was 162, so it's a bit higher, like at least stat wise, compared to Nishinoya. And this is going to be another video, like Komori versus Nishinoya, like this or that. I'm gonna make a different video about these two characters, comparing them side by side. But just in general, Nishinoya is going to be best with Karasuna team, like especially with UR Kageyama and SP Hinata. But other than those two, like other than that team, UR Komori is going to be like as good as SP Nishinoya. Even though he's a UR character, UR Komori is going to be super great, and you want to make sure to at least try to summon for him, especially if you have Sakusa, because these two together would be insane. Alright, let's talk about his skills. So first skill, Komori is going to increase the defense technique of all allied backcourt players by 10%. So defense technique of backcourt players is going to be receive and save. So when he's on the court, he's going to increase all of them by 10%, which is great. And then when Komori is on the court at the start of a rally, Komori gains 6 stacks of connect to the next effect. So this, for each stack of this connect to next, his toss, or like his set, will increase by 3% because he does have a set skill, and then his reflex will also increase by 5% up to 10 stacks. So that's going to be a lot of buff for himself, and also obviously for the teammates. Now about the set skill, so he does have a set skill 140, and also will increase team morale. And when the first team member to spike after display will get his awareness increase by 15%. So you have higher chances to do a crit spike because of the awareness, obviously. Doesn't matter, power attack or quick attack, whenever he sets. So this is mainly useful when especially when your setter receives and someone else needs to set, and then he will just jump in and do that. Will increase the team morale to get the 20% buff sooner, and also, awareness up for your next attack. And then the third skill, which is the passive you have to unlock, will increase his receive by 12%. And when he's on the court and an ally activates a non-special move receive, so a receive that is not an ultimate move. Who can do an ultimate receive? SP Waizumi in the future. For now, SSR Kita. Who else? Konoha, and also Captain Daichi. I think these are the characters that can do ultimate receive. So with those players, obviously this won't get activated, but in general, just a regular receive, or when Komori himself activates a ultimate receive, 2 stacks of connect to next will get consumed and will increase the power of the receive by 30%. So we'll buff up the receive, obviously good for defense, right? And then also when the first ally spikes after display, either power or quick, the power or quick will get increased by 20%. So this is for your defense, get the receive, and then buff up your attack. And then if the effect of this receive is a crit, then Komori will gain 2 more stacks of this effect. So you can kind of always have this if you play it properly, and also he will get this one when at the start over here, gain 6 stacks, right? And then the ultimate is going to be an ultimate receive, obviously, and also with his ultimate receive, the first time a teammate spikes, again either power or quick, the attack technique will increase. So that's going to be obviously your attack power, everything will get increased by 20%. So again, will buff up your attack. So he's good at defense and mainly better in attacking, because he's going to buff up your whole team to do the attack. So these are the skills of of Komori, and then we'll go to the skill rest. So skill rest 2, when he's on the court and the number of stacks of connect to next is 5 or more, for each stack, the power of allies' non-special move receives is going to get increased. And the power of Komori's toss or set is going to increase as well. So this, like in my opinion, I don't think this is much of a use, to be honest. But it's still, like, it's skill rest 2. And then when this buff, this stack effect has 5 or more, and an ally scores a spike, the cooldown of the skillful toss, which is going to be his set skill, will get reduced by 6 net crossings. Again, as I said, like, this skill rest 2, in my opinion, is not, you know, much of a change. That's why I don't think it's worth going all the way to skill rest 2. I mean, it's not all the way, it's just 2 dupes. So you still have to get 2 dupes of him to get this, but it's not much worth it. And then skill rest 4 with 6 dupes, so this is going to be all the way up. When Komori is on the court, the reaction or reflex of all allies is going to increase by 15%. So he will buff up the defense technique with his first skill, right? And then the reflex will increase as well, so you have higher chances to do a crit defense. And then when Komori is on the court, the receiving team member's power, which is going to be strength actually, if you translate it straightforward from the JP version, the strength will increase by the reflex times 50% when receiving the ball. This effect can increase up to 60%. So you have higher strength to do a powerful, like a more powerful attack. Again, I mean, the first part is going to be super great. The second part depends on the character on your team. In total, I don't think going all the way up for him will be necessary. I mean, obviously, yes, you're gonna get the skills buffed up as well because their lever is going to get increased, right? So like 320 max level 5 of the receive. But it's not that necessary. Now we go to the bond, so he only has 2 bonds, so this one with all these characters, and UR Komori is coming up after Komori. And if you have all of them, the main stat is going to increase, so Atsumo's set, Sakusa's power heat, Komori's receive, and Korai's power again. Kageyama doesn't get anything over here, maybe they'll change it, but you just need to have this, like all these characters. And then we have a deployment bond over here, which is super powerful because it's going to increase again main stats, Sakusa's power heat, Komori's receive, and also will increase everyone's receive by 20%. 20% is higher than the whole Nekama team. Nekama team school bond is 15%, and even in the positionless update, if you have 5 receive tag players in the court, it's still going to be 15%. But over here with these 2, you're just going to get 20%, which is great. So this is going to be a super powerful bond, and these 2 are SP. You know, they are UR, but they have SP stats, so it's going to be obviously no brainer to get both of them. At least try to get both of them if you can. If you couldn't get Sakusa, still get Komori, because we always have rebanners, and Komori is one of the best liberos. I mean, he is the best libero. You know, if you put him side by side with Nishinoya, both of them are best liberos. But again, as I said, Nishinoya is best for a Karasuna team with Hinata, like especially SP Hinata and UR Kageyama. But other than that, Komori will shine more. So these are the skills, and you know, the skill res and also the bond for Komori, and I'm pretty sure he is going to be one of the best characters in total in the game, because you will need, you know, liberos obviously to have the receive, like mainly for the receive, and also give buff to your other characters, especially your attacks, so that with that you can obviously score the points, because with receive you can't score, you're just gonna build up your attack, and then he will also buff up your attack so that you eventually gain the point. Now, to also quickly talk about his memory, will increase his receive. Great, this is max 24%. And when the member receives, defense technique of all allied backcourt will again increase, so same as his, will help out and buff up his first skill. And also, if the member is on the court when an ally activates again a receiving skill, the receiving member recovers 2 stamina and increases their attack by 15%. So again, buffing up your attack. So the memory is also useful for him, and obviously because it's based on his skill as well, so it's just going to buff up his own skill even more. But we'll talk about the memory later on. But in general, obviously UR Komori as a character, he's super great. You need to try at least to get him because he has stats similar to SP Nishinoya, as you've seen, even a little bit higher, and his ultimate is 260 receive. Nishinoya is also 260 receive. I mean, Nishinoya got a little buffed up, so he has higher receive now, but we have to wait and see if we'll get the buffed up version in global as well. I think we do, but we'll talk about them later on. Obviously, that's a separate video. For now, UR Komori, just wanted to give you like his skill introduction and how good he is, and I hope that you have the resources to pull for him, because honestly I'm broke myself, but still I'm gonna try my best to get him. And yeah, that's all for now. Let me know down in the comment section what are your thoughts on him. If you have any plans or ideas, write down in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Till next time, have fun and stay tuned.